Super Sam is back with us then to run us through what's making the headlines.
You can do it is the headline back of the Mirror. Murray insists Norrie can stun tennis like Raducanu and beat Djokovic on centre court today. We're all pumped, aren't we? Wimbledon semi-finals later on today. Come on, Nozza, do a muzzer is the headline on the back of the Sun. Andy tips to KO Jock. There is some sad news also on the back of the Sun. The injured Rafa Nadal has pulled out of today's Wimbledon semi-final showdown with Nick Kyrgios after admitting, I can't serve. He has an abdominal muscle tear. That's really, really sad news. Again, back of the Mail there, headline, agony for Nadal, injury rules out Rafa and gives Kyrgios a place in the final. Trev, look, we'll talk about Norrie in a second, but it's sad news, isn't it? It would have been an unbelievable spectacle on centre court today, wouldn't it? Nadal, Kyrgios.
Of course it would have been, and I think the fans have missed out there. I think Kyrgios has missed out there because I think he, getting to his first Wimbledon semi-final, I think he was looking forward to the challenge, especially playing against such a great player as Rafa Nadal, and to have that taken away. Listen, it's great, and I'll be thinking, you know what, I can rest up, gives me a massive advantage in the final because I can rest, I can get my treatment, I can work on my game and go into that game absolutely 100% fresh. But he would have wanted to do it the right way and win it the right way and get through to the final by earning it and not being by giving it by. But this is the way it goes, and you play the cards you dealt.
Do you think that Kyrgios goes straight into the final? Some people have maybe said that Fritz, who Nadal beat in the quarterfinals, should come back in and play in the semis, or Nat, do you think he's out? And Kyrgios, as Trev says, these things can happen in sport.
Well, it does happen in tennis a lot. You have walkovers all the time. Unfortunately, tennis players, playing for the extreme amount of time they're on a court for in one match can lead to... that quarter-final for Nadal against Fritz, what was it, 4.5 hours? I mean, it's incredible. And he was injured.
That's about 5 meals worth, isn't it? You
how
would,
many siestas is that for you?
I know, that's a lot. That is a lot.
But it's just incredible, the amount of energy and time that they're out on court just for one match. And you've got, a relentless 2 weeks schedule that you've got to try and get yourself match fit every single time you're out on court.
But I think this is Norrie, though. This is what Norrie's done. He's absolutely worked his backside off on his fitness prior to this tournament. His parents and his family are all out there. And there's just a little bit like what you were saying earlier, with Flushing Meadows, when it happened for Raducanu. It's one of them where the stars just align and everything goes well. And he'll be thinking he's got a great chance against Djokovic, who it has been a little bit underwhelming compared to his usual tournament standards, but he is an expert on grass, and that is going to be a tough one for Norrie.
The only time you have like a lucky loser is when it's the draw, isn't it? So like if someone withdraws prior to the tournament actually starting, that's when you'll get a lucky loser that comes in. But I think once it does start a tournament, it's very difficult to then say, well, you lost, so we'll allow you back in, because there'll be other players that'll be thinking, hang on, I played him in the round before, so why not let me in?
Fritz must be thinking, why couldn't you pull out in my game?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of like
1 game early,
but then he went for the scan afterwards, and then it was revealed. I think it's a 7mm tear in his abdomen, so he was unable because he'll make that worse. And especially with the standard getting better and stronger, you're going to exert yourself even more and make that injury so much worse.
Kyrgios in the final, Djokovic, Norrie this afternoon. Horror start for Butler as England crashes. The headline in the Mail: Butler blunted by duck and defeat in the Times, and Butler suffers a brutal baptism. Back of the Express: England losing to India by 50 runs in Butler's first game as captain last night. But guys, it's now time to talk about this man.
Here's an opportunity from the edge of the area. Oh, it's a great strike from Sterling, right from the edge of the D, curling towards the far corner and rippling the net. What a wonderful effort from Raheem Sterling.
Yes, Raheem Sterling.
I can visualise that goal then. What a finish.
Yeah, it took a while, didn't he?
Strength, pace, dribbling skills, and then that clinical finish at the end, little bender in the top corner.
Well, Man City's Raheem Sterling is closing in on a move to Chelsea, and Andy Dunn has been writing about Sterling in the Mirror this morning. The headline in the piece is Priceless Sterling will prove to be the signing of the summer. He says, forget about Haaland, forget about Nunez. He thinks that he's going to go to Chelsea and make a massive impact. Is that a possibility, Trev? Do you think so far? Once he gets confirmed, he's going to be signing in the summer?
I think it's more than a possibility, Sam. I think it's, if you look at him, his history, the pattern that he's had in his career, he's just getting better and better. And although he didn't play as much as he probably liked last season for Manchester City, that's probably one of the main reasons why he's leaving. It's nothing to do with money. He was well paid. He was, valued by his teammates. I just don't think he's happy with the lack of game time he's getting. But there's no doubt in my mind he's a world-class player. And I got laughed out the studio when I said to people, if you've had the chance to have Neymar or Raheem, who would you have? As a manager, as a coach, if you want consistency week in, week out, and when he's having a bad game, he'll still be a 7 out of 10 because he works hard for the team. He's got a fantastic work ethic. Whereas Neymar, if he's not playing and he's not doing well going forward, he might as well not be that on the pitch. And that's the difference between the two players. And for me, he's going to be a top hit at Chelsea. And I've had this debate with Simon Jordan before, and he belittles him a little bit, but he's a top player. You don't earn that kind of money. You're not at the top for so long if you've not got what it takes. And I think he'll want to prove Manchester City, the people that have allowed him to leave, prove them probably right because they know what he's got, but also, go there and show a different fan base in the country what he's got. But 12 years in the northwest of England, it's a good stint up north. He's won everything while he's been there, apart from the Champions League, and he hopefully hope to go and do that at Chelsea.
Not a bad CV as well to say he played for Liverpool, played for Manchester City, and now possibly Chelsea. Yeah, it's not bad. Doesn't look bad for Raheem Sterling.
Not bad. Very, very quickly, I'll just do one more for you. Potch your backs, the headline in The Sun this morning. Maurizio is lurking for first big job vacancy. Mark Irwin, goes on to say that every manager apart from the main two, Klopp and Guardiola, should be worried. World-class manager is available, waiting to potentially come back into work. Interested both your thoughts on Pochettino, where you stand with this. I think he's a world-class manager. I think the job he did at Tottenham on a limited budget was magnificent. I know he didn't go to PSG and win the big trophy, the Champions League, but I was surprised that Man United didn't go for Pochettino. What do you think, Trev? Do you still think that if and when a big club does become available in the Premier League, is he good enough? Is he a world-class coach to go into one of the biggest clubs?
I think so.
You think so, yeah?
I think it's all about your people skills. When you get to that level, you're not really coaching the players to be better players because they're already top players anyway. You might help them with certain fundamentals that you teach the team as a unit. But I think you look at him, he knows how to deal with egos. He seems to have a fantastic rapport with players. It doesn't matter how big the players are. You've just seen him managing Messi and Mbappe, Neymar. So on that side of things, I think he's safe hands. I think he's a charming man. He comes across well in the media. And I actually feel Manchester City might be the club for him. I think he might have a little bit of his kind of a way. I was going to say siesta, but siesta's not the sabbatical.
That's the one.
Sabbatical. I've got siesta on the
He can have a siesta on the sabbatical.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have a few. But I think he might have a little sabbatical now because I'm sure he's not struggling for finances. I think Manchester City could be the one for him. Because I think if Pep is going to walk away at a certain stage, that might be a hot seat ready to take Pochettino.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.